This tutorial is going to show you how to create a graphic that can be laser cut using an online app called Vectr. You can get there by going to vectr.com, as you can see up here, Vectr.com. I recommend logging in with your Google account so that you can come back to any images if you want to, which you can see on this screen here. But I'm going to go ahead and create a new file so you can see how this is done from the very beginning. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set up the page here. So you can see up here on the left there's a Pages option, and what I want to do here is select letter because that's the size of the paper that you're going to use. So select letter and it changes that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is go up here to the file settings, and I'm going to change this to inches because I'm going to work in that unit for most of this tutorial. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a name. I know already that I'm going to put some cats in here, so I'm going to put my file name and then my name afterwards and hit save file name. So I know that's going to be my cats, and that's me, Bob G. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I found some clip art that I'm going to put in the side of here, and then I'm going to change some settings here so that the laser knows to cut it out. So first I'll zoom out here. To zoom out, I just held down the control key and scrolled out. So that's my whole page here. And what I'm going to do is first find a silhouette. So what you want to find here is a silhouette. So I searched some cat silhouettes, which I'll show you on openclipart.org is a good place. I have a whole bunch of options for cat silhouettes, but I like this balancing one right here, so I'm going to click back into that one. And I have a bunch of different download options, but what I want to do is choose this red download, and it'll download that, and then I can see it here. It's called Balancing Cat Silhouette.svg. It's important that it's an .svg file because that's a type of file called a vector graphic, and vector graphics can be cut out on the laser engraver. SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphic. There's other type of scalable vectors, but basically what it means is that if I zoom in on this graphic, I won't see any pixels because in a scalable vector graphic the pixels don't exist, just lines and shapes exist, and no matter how big it is that you make it or how small it is, you won't see any pixels. So that's a little theory behind that. Now that I have that downloaded, I'm going to go back to my vector document and I'm going to upload that image. So over here on the left where that little cloud is, I'll click upload, and then in my downloads I'm going to find that one. Here it is, Balancing Cat Silhouette, and I'll hit open. And there's my balancing cat. Now it's much too big for what I need, so I'm going to resize this. I have a couple of different ways that I can resize this. So I'm going to go back here and change this to inches. The easiest way to resize this is down here where it says dimensions. I'm going to change this. So for the greeting card that you're cutting this out for, the maximum that you can usually do without the cutout sticking out of the card is 4 inches. So I'm just going to make this a little bit less than that. I'll make it 3.5. So I put 3.5 here. It automatically sizes the width. I'll hit enter, and now it's resized. I'll move this up here near the top of the paper so that I'm not wasting a bunch of paper by having it in the middle. So try to put it near the edge to save paper because someone else could use all this other space down here. And once I have it in position, I'm going to change some information about it that the laser needs in order to cut it. So right now when it's black, the laser will just burn all of that away. And what I want it to do is go around the outline or the border of this. So I don't want to cut anything on the inside of this graphic. So the first thing I'm going to change is the background. So over here on the right, I'm going to click background, and I'm going to change this so that it's white. So notice that the opacity here is all the way down to 0. I'm going to drag that up to 100%, and then I'm going to drag this up to the very corner so it's white. Now if you do this correctly, you'll get this what's called a hex code that's a hash FFFFFF. You could type this in if you want to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Fs, and hit enter. It does the same thing. You need to make sure that this reads hash and then 6 Fs. If you're a little bit off, it'll be some other value, it won't work. Has to be exactly white. Alright, so when that background's white, then I'm going to go on to the border. So I'll click the border color. And right now that's all set down at 0 opacity. I'm going to turn that all the way up to 100%. And the laser looks at the color, and if the color's red, it will cut it. So if it's any other color than red, it won't cut it. So what you'll need to do is turn the opacity to 100%, move this bar all the way up to the very top, and put this circle all the way here into the top corner. Or you could type in this hex code, which I'll show you is hash FF and then 4 zeros. That'll get you the same result. And then there's one more thing that you need to do. So the laser looks at the color, but it also looks at the size of that line. And what you need to type in here is 0.07 PT. So here it is, 0.07 PT. PT stands for points, and that's the smallest you can get it. And when the laser sees that the information is red and that the point size is 0.07, it will cut that out. If it's anything different, it won't cut it out. Alright, now that I have my background set at white, my border set at exactly red, and the size set to 0.07 points, PT, everything is ready to go. Now, that is such a narrow size, you can't really see it. If you look closely, you can, but if you hover over the top, you can then see it. Now, I want 2 of these cats, so what I'm going to do is copy and paste this, and just like in other programs, you can copy and paste by doing Control-C to copy, and then Control-V will paste, and then I'll move that one over a little bit. So I'm going to use the top part of this here. So I'll cut 2 cats out of this piece of paper. Now, once I have all of that set and it's ready to be sent to the laser engraver, you're going to go up to the top right here and click Export. And you're going to choose Print. Don't do the download. You want to go to Print, because what we want to do here is save it as a PDF. So make sure that the destination is set as Save as PDF, and then click Save. And it'll go to your Downloads folder. Now on a Chromebook it's a little bit different, but it'll end up in the same location. Now I'm ready to upload it to the Google Drive folder. So in the Google Drive folder, you find the folder that I shared with you, or you put it in your own drive and move it over. I'll put it in period 5. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to upload, and then I'm going to find that. I called it cats Bob G, and it put a little vector.pdf. And of course it's giving me some trouble here. Let me try that again. File, upload. Cats Bob G. Well, let's suppose that worked. Oh, here it is. Now that file is now, through the magic of the cloud, been copied to the computer that's connected to the laser engraver, so I'm ready to go back to the laser engraver and cut that out of paper.